Get into an interesting topic that talks about money and banking. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about what is money, like what has been used as money throughout time, because money just hasn't been just that paper bill that we had. Money is a way that we could basically trade goods with. Okay, so for instance, cattle. We used to use cattle back in between 9000 BC to 6000 BC. This was a great way to get stuff done. Like, hey, I wanted that. Well, in order to get that, I need some cattle. This then moved into cowrie shells, which were most widely and the longest used currency in history. So if you were to look up cowrie shells, this was mainly used. That then got turned into bronze and copper imitations. So that was the first metal money that was used in 1000 BC. The first paper currency was in 806 in China. And then in 1816, we had the gold standard that was started in England and made its way to the US in 1900. And then the end of the gold standard was 1930. We'll talk about what the gold standard was in a second. But basically, all of those were money. So, what is money? Money is whatever serves society in these four functions. What can be used as a medium of exchange? So, basically, what can be used as a method of payment? We used to use barter, which was basically like, hey, I'm going to take this pen and I'm going to trade up for a car. So basically, I go to you and I say, hey, do you really want this pen? What will you give me for this pen? I'll give you a towel. Okay, I'll take this towel and then I will go and I'll find somebody who needs a towel. Maybe the person that needs a towel, I can get some gum from. And then I can get that gum and I can trade it for a notebook. I can get that notebook and I can trade it for a calculator, right? So all I'm doing is I'm taking these different things and trading it for something else. Money is being used in the same way, where basically I'm giving you money and you give me something back in return. So that is used as a medium of exchange. So I have something, or I want something, and I'm using money as a medium in the middle to exchange the good or service coming to me. So money is used as a medium of exchange. The next thing is that it has a store of value. I'm not just going to give you a piece of paper and it's just literally a blank sheet of paper. It has zero value, and you're not going to give me a car with that. But if I gave you cash money because it has value, then you would give me the car, because money needs a store of value, something that serves as a way of preserving economic value that one can spend and consume in the future. So basically, the only reason you would take money is so you can spend it. So it has to have value. Another thing is a unit of account. Basically, we measure market values in an economy. So basically, when they post a sign that says, hey, this is worth $5, you understand the value of that. When someone says they owe me $10,000, you have an idea on how much they owe you. If they said 5 chickens, right, you're like, okay, well, what kind of chickens? How big? How small? We have no idea. All we know is just 5 chickens, right? But money can be used as a unit of account. And finally, it's a standard of deferred payment. Money must also be acceptable to make purchases today that will be paid in the future. So money could be used today, could be used tomorrow, and that goes right back to the store of value. The only reason you would take money today is because it has value in the future when you go to consume. So these are the 4 main functions of money. Now, we did have commodity money. Commodity money was what we talked about earlier, like cattle, cowrie shells, or gold and silver. These are an item that is used as money, which also has a value from its use, or some, basically you could use cattle for something. So it has value like that. So that is commodity money, something that basically is not this paper bill. Commodity-backed currencies, those started back with the gold standard. Basically what happened here is you had a dollar bill, and that dollar bill could buy you this amount of gold. Okay, it was backed up by a currency. During much of its history, gold and silver backed the money supply in the United States. So what we're trying to say here is with commodity money is basically the bill today just says the United States dollar bill. But the bill used to say $1, and this could be payable in silver to the bearer on demand. Okay, so if you are bearing this dollar, you can go and you can get $1 worth of silver. Okay, so whatever this dollar bill was, this was a silver-backed dollar. So if you had $100 and you were to trade this in, you can get $100 worth of silver. That is commodity-backed money. Because money in itself, the fiat money, has no value. Okay, like literally, it's a piece of paper. Okay, but for some reason, right, we give it value. It is a piece of paper that has no intrinsic value. The only way it has value are the following. Number one is that it is declared by the government to be used as the legal tender. So the government is literally saying, yeah, you can use this. It's acceptable. Okay? The government's like, go ahead and use it. It is acceptable. All right? We give it value. And finally, it is scarce. Because if something was widely available, okay, the value is literally nothing. But if something was like diamonds, where it's really scarce, then we would have more value to it. So because the dollar is not grown on trees, it does have value for it. And so that is what fiat money is. Anytime you hear the word fiat money, it is paper money. The only backing of our money is universal faith. Basically, I'm taking this $5 from you because I have the faith that I can use this later. Okay, and trust that that currency has value and nothing more. So basically, I can't do anything else with this $5, right? Other than just buy goods and services with it. I can use cattle. I can probably use the gold to make a necklace out of. But dollars, the only thing I can use it for is just to spend with. Okay? So that's the difference between commodity money and fiat money. Because money could buy a few things. It could buy physical assets, such as machinery and new construction. Okay? It could also buy financial assets, like stocks and bonds. Stocks are a claim of ownership of a firm. So basically what happens here is a firm or a big business needs money. And so what they do is they say, okay, where can we get money to buy things, okay? And so what they do is they say, let's sell some ownership of our company. Let's sell these pieces of paper that say, hey, you own 1% of Microsoft. So you are a owner of Microsoft. You are a 1% shareholder. Out of the 100% Microsoft ownership, you have 1% because you bought stocks. You have a claim of ownership in a firm. This is what we call equity financing. Anytime you see the word equity, you should be thinking of ownership. Okay? So the company is financing. They're getting this extra money by giving you ownership. This way they avoid debt. They give up a small degree of control of the firm because you are an owner and you do have some stake or some say in what happens at the company. But this does avoid debt. Now, debt is something like a bond. A bond is a promise to repay a principal amount plus a rate of interest on a specified maturity date. So basically here, with a bond, what happens here is that I'm a company and I need $1 million. So what I do is I say, hey, will you give me $1 million and then I'll pay you back later plus interest. Now this is different from a loan, okay? Because with a bond, what is happening is I'll pay you back at the end, okay? With a loan, I pay you back little by little by little to where the total adds up to how much I borrowed plus interest. But a bond is basically where I don't pay you for 10 years, and then finally at 10 years, you get the final $1 million plus interest. So that's the difference. So debt financing, this avoids giving up ownership, but it does commit the firm to pay interest. So basically, if I wanted to borrow $1,000, $1 million from you. I sell you a bond and I pay you back at 10 years, 15 years from now. I'll pay you back $1 million plus interest. So that's what a bond is. And that's what also money could do. So money could give you some power. You could borrow it. You can buy stocks. You can buy bonds with it. That is what money could be used for. Next, we'll talk about how we measure money. I'll see you there.